Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the analysis of the first half of our game against the Valor Maple Valley Rec team from last week, specifically highlighting defending in the initial third. I only looked at a half of this just because if I did the whole game, the whole field, all defending, all soccer actions, it would take way too much time. So we're only hyper focused on our goals for the weekend, which is defending in that initial third. So the question we always have to ask ourselves is what? What are we doing when we're defending? Well, in the initial third, we're preventing goals, we're denying quality chances, we're preventing the opposition from playing forward or denying that penetrating dribble, we're forcing a bad pass or a bad touch, and we want to win the ball. I know some of the teams out there, they kick it out if they are defending in their initial third. We want to win the ball, have possession, and then go back and counter. And I bet you're like, hey, Coach Khan, that's a great list, but how do we do that? Well, in general principles, we want to get organized and balanced, and we want to stay organized and balanced. Let's talk specifics now. And these are team specifics of how. How are we going to do those things that to make us successful while defending? Well, first of all, is the thing that we've been drilling into the players for years now. You get compact and you stay compact. When we're defending, we like small shapes. Another thing we do is we always press in the identified situations. There are certain times that we press, and there's cues that I give the players of who presses and when they press, and when you don't press, and when you cover, and when you balance out. Because you don't want 11 people pressing all the time, right? You want to have specific things that we do when we press and how we press. We want to outnumber the opposition so that we have a better likelihood of winning the ball, because that's one of our goals. We want to win the ball. And how to do that is that we try to outnumber the opposition as much as we can. The defensive line moves as a cohesive unit. So that means the 4 and the 5 set the tone, the 2 and the 3 and the 6 are adjusting with that 4 and 5. We provide cover and delay when we're outnumbered. There are times that we are going to be outnumbered. And when that occurs, you have to use your 5S's and delay the opponent until help arrives. And when necessary, we switch from zonal marking to player tracking. So over the last 2 weeks, we've been hyper-focused on defending in the initial third, specifically how to get compact, stay compact, the defensive line moving as a cohesive unit, and especially when necessary, switch from a zonal marking to player tracking. We're trying to get the defenders also to scan the field to look for the opposition, to make sure that there isn't somebody behind them who's like really has an eye for a goal and is going to beat them on that far post. And who's involved in all these things? Well, it's going to be the 1, the goalie, the 2 and the 3, the 2 fullbacks, the 4 and the 5, the 2 center backs, and the 6, the defensive midfielder. So kind of a numbers breakdown of the half. We were dominated in this first half. We had a hard time not playing in our initial third. We needed to get the ball up the field a lot more and have possession up the field a lot more. And we just couldn't stop making small errors that kept our goalie under pressure a lot. But even that happened, we were still losing only 2-1 by the end of the first half. But the numbers don't lie. They had 4 corner kicks. We had 8 goal kicks in that first half alone. They had 9 shots to our 3. And you can see that's not good. We want to reduce the number of shots that they are taking, and we want to reduce the number of goal kicks that we are taking. So this is a fun slide. The 2 images are what are called heat maps. They're a visualization of player positions on the field. So the longer that a player or players are in a certain location, the quote unquote hotter the color. So the blues are where people spent 0 time. That is where the space is. And the reds are where people spent a lot of time. And this is the first half. On the left-hand side is Pac. We are going in that direction, which means this is our goal box right here. And this is the problem. We spent a lot of time with a lot of players inside our initial third. In fact, so much so that it caused our 8, our 9, and our 10 to be completely static along the halfway line. You can see our midfield, so we are a narrow team, so I'm expecting generally a narrowness within the center. If you look at Valor's, they've got guys in our box. This is not good. They don't have anybody back here. And they have a midfield that's fairly strong. This middle line right here, they held a high line, and their midfield did a good job of overloading our 7 and our 3. And a lot of times you will, if you watch the first half again, that you'll see us lose the ball in this location quite a bit. It wasn't all bad news, okay? You guys committed yourself in the second half to play as a team, and the heat map shows it. This is our first half right here. This is our second half heat map. Now we're going in this direction from left to right. We have the goal box right here. Here's our 5, our 4, and this is our diamond midfield. This is awesome because this is the heart of the team. I've always called our diamond the heart of the team. And you can see our 6, our 11 in the half space, our 7 in the half space. Sometimes the 8's here, sometimes the 8's up here, sometimes the 6 is up here. This is how the heart functions. It contracts and then it expands. And it expands to our strikers up here, through our fullbacks. But notice how the space, we've now occupied more space. We've covered more distance. It's not so much blues and reds. It's now more that kind of pale blues and the little whites. That's telling me that you guys are passing the ball, utilizing space, and working as a team. Okay, so stepping away from just kind of the overall game and some of the numbers, let's hyper-focus now on our defensive opportunities in that first half in our initial third. Now, when I went back and did all the tallies and stuff, there was about 49 opportunities to make defensive soccer actions. And a defensive opportunity for me is going to be when they have possession of the ball in the middle third and they cross into our initial third. So they have possession and they are attacking. Or they win back possession in our initial third. Now we have to go fight for it and win it back. Out of all those defensive opportunities, you made the right soccer decision and made the right soccer action 51% of the time. That's a good number in my book. Okay? Only 43% of the time did you make a poor soccer decision. And those are just minor things, mental lapses, small techniques, weird choices. We'll cover those and we'll continue to work on those. But I want to highlight something, the fact that I know you guys are getting better, and especially you guys that have been with me now for about 12 months or so, or even longer. Look at that number 6%. That means you still made the right soccer decision, but your technique only failed you, your body only failed you 6% of the time. That's an incredible number. I've always said that making the soccer decision is the hardest bit. So once you start making the right soccer decisions, the actions will follow because we're going to try to get you into situations where you have to repeat those actions. And that's how our training sets up. That's how we talk about these games, is that you have these decisions you have to make, and then your body and your technique has to follow. And you guys, congratulations on dropping that number to under 10%. So where are their attacks coming from? Well, it's pretty even. It's a little more to the right than the left, but it's pretty even. 39% from the right, 33% from the center, and 28% from the left. And what I mean by right and left, this is our defensive right. So that means it's the 39% of the time they're attacking our 7 and our 2. 28% of the time they are attacking our 3 and our 11. Remember, one of the things that we want to do is to prevent quality chances. And so when they come at us, we want to make sure that we reduce the number of times they are making shots on our goal. And so right here is their success rate when they make a shot on our goal coming from the attack. Okay, so on the right-hand side, they had 4 shots on goal. In the center, they had 3 shots on goal. In the left-hand side, they only had 2 shots on goal. So on the right, they were successful 28% of the time in creating a shot. In the center, 25% of the time. On the left-hand side, they're only 20% of the time were they successful when they attack to actually make any type of chance. And I have a feeling that's because they're right-footed. It's very hard to create a shot when you're right-footed coming from the left. Okay, let's talk about the 2 goals then. Both of their goals came from the center. This is one thing I always say, the center is the most dangerous part of the field. That's why we have a diamond in the center, and that's why we also have 2 people, the 4 and the 5, defending our castle in the center. But unfortunately, they were able to, 16% of the time when the attack created a goal. So let's just say they would attack our goal 100 times in a half. They would have scored 16 times. You guys only let them have 3 shots from the center. 2 of them were successful. And congratulations on to everybody on the outside, the right and the left. They didn't create a single goal from either side. Okay, let's go over some examples of these defensive opportunities. Some good soccer decisions and good soccer actions. In this clip, you're going to see our fullback force a bad pass or a bad touch, and he provided cover and delaying when he was outnumbered. So he was outnumbered on that far side, and he delayed, and because he was delaying and didn't dive in, it forced the bad pass, and we won possession. It's from a throw-in. You can see our diamond. Now watch the delay. Here's the delay. Doesn't dive in. Bad pass. Our 6 comes in to intercept. Huffs it long. Kind of wish he would have found the pass. But our 8 tackles. And then a long ball forward and we lose possession. The next clip is going to come from an offside call free kick that we won. And I want you to focus in on how we deny the quality chance and we won the ball and we went back the other way. And how we're going to do that, we're going to get compact, stay compact. The recovery runs of our fullbacks were awesome. We pressed in the identified situations. We try to outnumber our position with our 6, our 4, and 5, and then our recovering fullbacks. Our defensive line worked as a cohesive unit, and when necessary, they transitioned from switching from zonal to player tracking. Nice little 1-2. Unfortunately, gets the ball caught underneath him. And this is good because he's forcing the outside. Nice recovery runs by our fullbacks. And using the 6, we're back on. So in this clip, we're going to see when we're trying to prevent the opposition from playing a forward or denying a penetrating dribble, and we are unable to do that. And we're going to look at why. One of the reasons that we didn't get compact, stay compact, the recovery runs, although the kids were running, they weren't running in the correct angle. So whenever you're doing your recovery run, make sure you're always running towards the near post. If you do that, your angle will get you between the ball and the goal quickly. So if you get beat, your recovery run should be towards that near post. They didn't quite understand when to press in that situation. The 6 came over to help. The fullback was over there helping. We were outnumbering the opposition, so that was a correct soccer decision. We were outnumbering, but because the guy was really fast and our recovery runs were not efficient, our 4 and 5 were dragged out of their zonal marking to do player tracking. And that's not what we want, because we left the back door open for somebody who our 4 and 5 did not see. Obviously, because of that, our defensive line were not moving as a unit. So here's the penetrating run. His recovery should have been directly to that post at that moment. Look at the open player right there. Completely unmarked. So in this clip, we're going to watch the opposition make a penetrating dribble and create a high quality chance. And the main reason that this occurred is because we didn't work as a cohesive unit. There was no screen by the 6. The guy dribbles right into the location where the 6 should be. There was optional running from our 2 fullbacks. They did so well all game. This time, they just chose not to run. So we didn't have the get compact, stay compact. We didn't have the overload. And so that forced us to moving from the zonal marking to a player tracking, and he kind of just sliced right through us. Poor clearance. And I really wanted the defenders to be more aggressive on clearing those lines to get those guys offside. But here, right there, the dribble goes right through where the 6 should have been. The guy should have been offsides, but he wasn't. But he was never picked up by the fullback, nor was the other guy on the other side of the center defender. So in this one, we're going to deny quality chances. We're going to prevent the opposition from playing forward, and we're going to win the ball. And we did this by acting as a unit. By identifying when to press and when not to. And the great thing about it is that when we switched from zonal to man, that was witnessed by one of the midfielders, and the midfielders dropped into the center back spot to cover for them while he was pressing at the appropriate time. I really like this last clip I've got for you today. It really showed how our midfield should work and how it screens any possible attack, because we don't want anything coming through the middle. We've already proven that earlier today with those where the goals and where the dangerous shots come from the center. So that means our midfield has to do a good job in making the opponent's attack predictable. Okay, we want them to go to the outside, because there we can trap them with our fullbacks and our 7 or 11 or our 6, and then make a counter move against them. So it's okay to let them to the outside, And this is a great example of that. Good screen by the 6 and the 7. He can't go through. Good zonal marking. So the only way they got is the outside. Now at that point, you see where the center defender had to make a decision to switch from zonal to man, and that is the correct situation to press, and a good job to leave the zonal. Good defending. It was not a dangerous ball. So good job there. My last comment on the last clip that we saw is that kudos to the 6. When the center back went to press to try to win the ball, the midfielder came back and to cover that position and rotated positions. So congratulations to the 6. My only gripe with the whole situation is that I wish the fullback would not leave their feet. It happened for both fullbacks I watched in the first half, and I wanted to make a comment about it before I closed this little shindig here. Never leave your feet. You have the 5 S's. Use them. When you leave your feet, you don't have control of your body anymore, and you have to be able to react. Delay, delay, delay. Help will come. So with that, you guys have a SMART goal for the season. This team has a SMART goal for that team. Okay, so the next time we play this team, we will reduce the number of poor soccer decisions while defending in the initial third by half. That is our SMART goal. It's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, and it's timely. Okay, so we're going to drop that 43 down to about 21, low 20s. I'm okay with that. So if everybody's on board, I know you guys can do it. We're going to continue to work on defense, especially defending as a unit. Okay, so congratulations for working really hard. I certainly appreciate it. I'm very excited to have you guys continue on this journey with me and the journey with each other. So I'll see you on Sunday.